What's up, you guys? It's Martin here. And chances are, if you clicked on this video, then you've been a victim to procrastination. Or you just value your time and you want to find some more ways to be more productive and save some time. Procrastination is the destroyer of so many dreams. And if I notice something, is that you are the product of the choices that you make. But what if I told you that procrastination is really a choice? So in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 tips to overcome procrastination and ways to generally save more time, because time is the one asset that we will never get back. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first thing that comes to mind when the word procrastination is brought up is indecision, and that is the root cause of why we're not able to achieve our goals in the first place. Do you remember a time when you had a very specific goal in your mind, but then you never actually got on to doing it? Maybe you're in that process right now, but that is basically what indecision is. And that can really stop you from achieving what you want in your life. And that can be very difficult to overcome for most people, myself included. To beat indecision and, as a result, procrastination, you need to learn how to make decisions quickly. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and make quick decisions. I'm telling you to make decisions quickly. And if you're confused, I'll explain that right now. So there's a fine line between making quick decisions and making decisions quickly. And that is that making quick decisions is just going out on a whim and just making your decisions just like that, just because you feel like it. But making decisions quickly is when you've already weighed out your pros and cons and considered the factors that you need to look out for, and then making your decision without hesitation, because you know that choice you make will be close to optimal. Now, I know it may be scary to pursue your grandest dreams without feeling entirely ready, but let me tell you that there's never a right time to make a decision. But the best time is to just do it immediately, because even if you're afraid that you're not well equipped to pursue your ambition or reach your goal, just know that you'll acquire more and better tools along your journey there. So just start now, or else you're never going to start. I know most of you have experienced this before. You take days, months, and maybe even years to even get started. But starting now means that you'll make progress towards your goal, even if it's a very minuscule amount of progress. And there's never really a perfect choice or decision either. You can make your decision now and change it slowly over time, because your choices will never be perfect on the first time. Your plans will never be always perfect. So just get started. Stop holding yourself back, because indecision can waste so much time. It can waste days, months, maybe even years of some people's lives just because they've wanted to start that big project but never got around to doing it because they self-doubt and they get complacent, and that results in indecision. So the first step is to beat indecision, and you can go quite far with that. Now, the second way to save time is through optimizing your email. Just recently, I was using email more and more, and I was like, email sucks. Why is it so disorganized? But then as I started to look more into it, I realized that I was not being really optimal with my inbox organization. So I'm going to show you a few tricks right now that I discovered, and I was like, oh my goodness. Why didn't I realize these things sooner? So if you go to your Gmail and you click on settings, you have inbox type, right? Normally it's set as default, which is when you receive emails in chronological order. But you should try playing around with the other inboxes and see which one you like best. Because honestly, sometimes the emails that you receive are not always all important, and you can organize your inbox based on that. Another interesting thing that I found is that you have these labels on the side here, right? Normally you would have to manually label things, but there's a better way. So if you search a sender address, for example, if I want to put a label on TD emails, whatever, I'm just going to use a fake email. I forgot their email. And then you click create filter. And then you can choose the action whenever you receive an email that falls under this criteria. So if you wanted to choose the label financial, you can label it. If you want to delete it when it arrives in your inbox, you can click that and create filter. What it does is that it automates what goes in and out of your inbox and organizes it for you, so you really don't have to do things like this manually. And when I discovered this, I was like, damn, why didn't I ever organize my inbox like this? It could save me so much time. And I asked other people if they knew about this, and my friends didn't even know about it. So I was like, maybe I should make a video and discuss other ways we can save time as well. And then for Outlook, this functionality is even better, because the filters from Gmail, they don't filter and sort through your old emails. It only does it from the point that you create the filter and onwards. Or at least I haven't figured out how to sort previous emails with Gmail. But for Outlook, which a lot of universities are using for their school email, there's a really easy way that you can organize your emails. And I'll show you that right now. So basically, I'm going to create a new subfolder. I'm going to call it chemistry. Well, can't spell. Did I spell it right? Can't really see it. Yeah. What you do now is you click settings, and then you look for filters, and then you go to rules, add new rules, name your rule chemistry or chem. And the condition is if it's from chemistry professors, which I will hide their names, and move it to chemistry. And the box that says stop processing more rules is that if there's 2 rules that would apply to a single email, for example, if you have an email from your chemistry professor and your rule is to sort it into your chemistry folder, but you have another rule that says that if there's an attachment attached to an email that you would immediately delete it, then if this teacher sent you like a course outline, which is an attachment, and if you click stop processing more rules on this rule that sorts it into the chemistry folder, then it will prevent that email from being deleted. So that's what that function does. You can add more actions, but this is quite simple and this is what I want it to be. So I'm going to click save and you'll see what happens here. It's going to load all the chemistry emails into that folder. So yeah, that's an interesting way to save time, I guess, but I think it'd be really helpful for you guys. So that's why I mentioned it. And another thing about emails is that I've been checking it more and more recently as I get more emails in my day-to-day life, but stop checking your email and only check it like 3 times a day, like in the morning, afternoon, and at night, because there's no point of constantly checking and feeling obligated to be on top of every single email that comes in, because we only have 24 hours in a day and we don't need more and more interruptions in our already busy lives. And the third thing that people should do to save time is to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, because it only takes a second. And I would really appreciate it because it really helps this channel out. But seriously though, the third point is to spend less time on your phone and on social media. As years go by, people are spending more and more time on their mobile devices through endless browsing and scrolling through post and after post after post. This might end up getting out of hand, and I know that it's quite difficult to control, but you can make the decision not to check your phone sometimes, you know? According to productivity software Rescue Time, we are spending an average of 3 hours and 15 minutes a day on our mobile devices. And just 1 out of 10 people say that they feel in control of how they spend their day. And that's quite a scary thought, because this is already getting out of hand and it's projected to get worse over the years. The problem is not only the sheer time consumption, but it's not all in one session. People unlock their phones and check it for 20 seconds at a time and do that frequently throughout their work time. That can really disrupt our workflow and have a very devastating effect on our productivity. Now, to combat this, critics say, why don't you just disable your notifications? And to that I say, yeah, why don't we disable our notifications? I also add that you could use apps like Stay Focused to limit your activity on your phone, because I spend an average of about less than an hour on my phone every day because I set restrictions on my phone that I can't change. I'll throw that up on the screen somewhere. And another thing I would add on that is to schedule your day and make time to do your work and pursue your goals. Without a set schedule, we give ourselves the freedom to check our phones frequently and fill the time that's blank in our calendars. If you schedule out your day, I believe you'll feel more control of your days and what you get out of your time. So to sum that point up, disable your notifications for some of your apps, maybe even delete some of the apps that you spend a lot of time on. Use productivity apps to limit your time on your phone and schedule your time. And I believe you can go quite far with that. Now, the fourth thing that people spend a lot of time on is complaining. Like, sometimes I'm guilty of this myself, but why do people complain so much? I just complained. I know you've heard all these excuses and complaints of, oh, why do exams have to be on weekends? If only I did this, if only I did that. Why is this? Why is that? I know you've heard a lot of these things, and honestly, I really believe that we can use the time that we spend complaining to actually go and solve the issue that we're complaining about. Like, why don't we just get straight to studying so we don't have to complain about weekend exams, right? That applies to a lot of complaints, not just why exams are on weekend. I know that it can be applicable to what complaints that you have in your day-to-day life. So just think about that for a second. Now, the fifth thing that we can do to save time is to be organized. General disorganization can really waste you a lot of time. Like for students, it could be ineffective studying, but being disorganized can really cost you a lot of time. Like when you can't find where you put your pencil, you can't find where you put that document, can't find where you left that note that you had in class. And I'm not sure what strategies you would use, but for me, at least as a student, I like to do everything digitally because you can put things into folders pretty easily and you can automate a lot of stuff, like what you saw that I did to my email accounts. So I take all my notes digitally now, and that might be a video for another time, but in general, just get yourself organized, spend some time to do that, and in the long run, it will save you quite a bit of time. And the last thing that people waste time on is freaking out and procrastinating instead of doing the work because workload piled so high that it seems so daunting. I know that we've all seen someone, or maybe even yourself, go and watch YouTube videos for a couple hours because they're stressed about an exam and they just don't want to get to work. I know, it's kind of strange. Since we procrastinate because I feel like we never have the time for self-care because of all the things that we have to do. And what I recommend that you do if your workload is too big is to just chunk it down. Make it into smaller tasks that you can get started on right away. Like if you had to read a chapter of a book, you wouldn't just say that you would sit down and read a chapter. Most people won't even want to get started on that. Just say to yourself that you'll read a paragraph or a couple sentences. And if you get the ball rolling, you build momentum. You might just realize that it wasn't even that hard in the first place once you get started. Now, it's sad to say that there'll rarely be a time that you really have nothing to do. But in the end, procrastination really boils down to a choice. And if you can do the things that are listed in this video, you'll find that you will actually have more time to spend doing the things that you want, or time in self-care, without even feeling bad about it, because you finished most of the things that you feel like you're obligated to do. So that's about it for this video. I hope this video helped you out, and I really appreciate it if you share it with your friends if it did. Smash that like button and hit subscribe to see more videos. That's it for me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.